Hello and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one we're talking Big John McCarthy and his recent comments, specifically when he compares Michael Chandler to another lightweight fighter that's quote-unquote past his prime. We're going to get into this comparison. Before you start, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Obviously, John McCarthy being one of the most iconic referees in the game. Obviously, if you're not familiar with John McCarthy, he's a referee. You can look up the name for the few that I believe are not aware of who John McCarthy is. Obviously, John McCarthy's been around long enough to know when guys are on the up and up and when they're on their way out of the game. Obviously, many comments are made, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But when a guy like John McCarthy talks, I think one ought to listen, and maybe Chandler's the one that should be doing some listening at this point, because John McCarthy makes a fantastic point. He compares Michael Chandler's career in the trajectory that it's currently on to Tony Ferguson's career. John McCarthy's afraid that the same thing that happened to Tony Ferguson could happen to Michael Chandler. And if you kind of stop and think about that, there's a lot of logic behind those statements. Even though Michael Chandler is not losing in ways that we can say, oh, this guy's completely outclassed. No, he's actually given all of his opponents a run for their money, but he's just losing very close fights. Even his last fight against Charles Oliveira, he almost finished the guy in the last, I believe, round or something. So it's similar to their first fight. Almost finished Oliveira in the first round in the first fight, if you guys remember. But unfortunately for him, he's handed back-to-back losses. Effectively, he has many losses in the UFC at this point. He's on back-to-back losses. And not only that, every time the guy steps a foot in the octagon, he's, risking more losses. And I think the Conor McGregor option is probably temporarily off the table, just taking into consideration what the guy's going through in his personal life. I do understand that the case that Conor has, that he's dealing with, is a civil case that could perhaps be resolved with some type of agreement between the two parties outside of the court. But still, I think this is going to have its effect on him. I don't think Conor is going to be probably doing much. So what I'm trying to say here is that Chandler has to forget about that Conor McGregor option. And if he's to step a foot back in that octagon, he has to be very cautious. He has to pick those fights wisely. Maybe Paddy Pimblett. I mean, in all honesty, for Chandler, it's time to play politics in MMA terms and kind of pick your fights carefully if you do want to fight again. Obviously, I think that Conor McGregor fight is temporarily off the table. I don't know if things may change, but if you're not aware, Conor is dealing with some, let's say, personal issues that has nothing to do with fighting. And it is a civil case. I do understand. But I just think that's going to serve as a distraction for Conor. I don't think Conor's going to probably want to think about fighting anytime soon. So for Chandler, forget about Conor McGregor. You're on back-to-back losses. If you're a Chandler, you have some serious thinking to do. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe for more.